Question number 6, Dr Kennedy Graham.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister, will he make public the official advice, if any, he has received on the weapons status of the American, UK, Chinese and French military ships scheduled to visit New Zealand in November? If not, why not?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I'm advised that it has not been standard practice to release such information. However, the member, like any other member of the public, is welcome to request advice under the Official Information Act. Any request would be handled in the usual way and treated with careful consideration. I'm not going to preempt that process today. In addition, I would note the member's question refers to ships visiting in November from the United States, United Kingdom, China and France. If the member is referring to the Royal New Zealand Navy's 75th commemorations, I point out that neither the United Kingdom nor France is actually sending a ship. They are contributing in other ways, which we very much welcome.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Dr Kennedy Graham.
In light of the continued non-disclosure policy on nuclear weapons maintained by the United States and its likely refusal to permit boarding for inspection, does he agree that while the advice of New Zealand officials may reflect a sound pragmatic expectation, it does not give irrefutable confirmation that no nuclear weapon is on board?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, no, I think it does give irrefutable evidence, and that's because the advice that was prepared and given to me and to enable me as Prime Minister to sign the approval declaration came not only from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, but also the Attorney General and the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet. They use a wide range of information sources, and I notice even in this morning's newspaper, one of the activists who had swum out, I think in 1983, was saying even he wouldn't bother donning his swimming togs because he accepted that it was neither nuclear armed or powered.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Dr Kennedy Graham.
When he cites the advice given to him by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade with respect to the US vessel scheduled for November, is he confident that he has met the requirements imposed on him by Section 9(1) of the Nuclear Free Act to, quote, have regard to all relevant information and advice that may be available? Or does he acknowledge that there are experts outside the New Zealand government who may have other views?
The
Speaker,
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
First, I haven't seen a single person that's raised a contrary view that the USS Sampson is anything other than non-nuclear powered and non-nuclear armed. If the member can point to somebody, it'd be interesting. Of course, there will always be people around the world who are conspiracy theorists, and if that's the line he's pushing in the House today, he might have to put himself in that category.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Dr Kennedy Graham.
If the Prime Minister cannot categorically confirm there are no nuclear weapons on board these the US nuclear-capable vessel, why has he given clearance for the ship to visit New Zealand despite the pride that New Zealanders have in our long-standing nuclear-free tradition?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, the Act spells out very clearly the obligations on me as Prime Minister. I received advice in relation to the Act from the Attorney General. I'm not in the habit of signing declarations that would put me in breach of the law and of me failing to fulfil the obligations required of me as Prime Minister under the Act, and I'm totally confident I have met the requirements of the Act.
Supplementary question, Dr Kennedy Graham.
Does he agree with the New Zealand Prime Minister 31 years ago that, quote, nuclear weapons make us insecure? We all of us know that it is wholly without logic or reason to possess the power to destroy ourselves many times over, and yet in spite of that knowledge, the nuclear powers continue to refine their capacity to inflict destruction on each other and all the rest of us. If so, will he follow that lead and stand up for a nuclear-free New Zealand?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, yes, and I should remind the member the invitation of President Obama. I've been to a number of the nuclear security summits that he has held, and that's reflecting the credentials of New Zealand. One of the very, very first statements I made a decade ago when I became the leader of the National Party in opposition in 2006 was that we would be observing New Zealand's nuclear-free status.
Question.